On 18th of May 1998, the US Department of Justice and the Attorney Generals of 20 US states sued Microsoft for being a monopoly and illegally killing its competition in the computer market. And what followed next was one of the most historic cases in tech history, which lasted for 2 decades. And fast forward to 23 years later, even today, Microsoft is still killing its competition right in front of our eyes. And this could result into yet another historic lawsuit. The question is, how did Microsoft kill its competition? What exactly was their business strategy that turned Microsoft into such a powerful company? And most importantly, what are the lessons that we need to learn from this iconic case study? This video is brought to you by Scalar Academy, but more on this at the end of the video.
The Justice Department has charged Microsoft with engaging in anti-competitive and exclusionary practices designed to maintain its monopoly.
Microsoft in secret basically finished up 95 and released it and then provided no documentation.
Forcing Microsoft to include Netscape's competing software in our operating system is like requiring Coca-Cola to include 3 cans of Pepsi in every 6-pack it sells.
Do you agree that Internet Explorer is defined here correctly as Microsoft's web browser?
This is a story that dates back to 1994 America, when the computer revolution was just catching fire. This was a time when multinational corporates had accepted that computer was a powerful tool, and they already started having hundreds of computers in the offices, which was being used by the employees. And these computers had already skyrocketed the productivity of these companies. So practically, computer had already become an integral part of the American business ecosystem. And long story short, here are the most important events that happened in the computer revolution of America. On 12th of August 1981, IBM introduced its personal computer with Microsoft's 16-bit operating system, which was MS-DOS 1.0. And this made Microsoft a ton of revenue through licensing. By 1985, Microsoft was already clocking in a revenue of $140 million. Then, on 13th of March 1986, Microsoft stock goes public, breaking all records and turned Bill Gates into the youngest billionaire ever by 1987. Then, in August 1989, Microsoft introduces the earliest version of Office Suite applications, which then became the industry standard for businesses all across America. Followed by that, in May 1990, Microsoft launched Windows 3.0, which was a big leap into graphical user interface. And this is what made computers accessible to the common man, which was back then used only by the techies through code. And as soon as this happened, the usage of computers exploded in the United States of America. And this is what made Microsoft the most powerful and the most dominating force in the computer world, with Windows 3.0 selling at the rate of 1 million copies per month in 1993. And nearly 90% of all PCs in the world ran on Microsoft operating system. And this is when another dimension of the computer industry opened up, and that was the internet. Therefore, in the early 1990s, we saw the rise of internet browser market. And one of the most revolutionary browsers at that time was a browser called Netscape Navigator, which was launched in 1994. Netscape at that time was loaded with features which were far ahead of its competition. They had the feature of document streaming, which allowed users to view the documents while it was being downloaded. They had the feature of multiple downloads simultaneously, and they also supported JPEG image format. And this product was so revolutionary that even with the $49 subscription cost, they were able to capture up to 80% of the browser market share. Now, the point to be noted over here is that just like today, without the internet, your computer is mostly useless. Back then in 1995, people started using computer just to use web browsers to connect to the internet. And the operating system was just a bridge that connected the users to the web browsers. So practically, browsers were becoming more important than the operating system itself. And building upon this phenomenal success, Netscape went public on December 5th, 1995. And within a day, the company had hit a market cap of $2.2 billion. And just when they thought of becoming another legendary internet company, something happened in the exact same year that marked the beginning of Netscape's fall. And within the next 6 years, the same billion-dollar company was almost reduced to nothing. The question is, how is it even possible that such a big and innovative company went down so quickly? Well, the answer to this question lies in an accurate phrase coming from the Department of Justice itself, which summarizes how Microsoft kills its competition. And it says, embrace, extend, and exterminate. To tell you about it, in 1994, Microsoft realized that they were too late to the internet boom and the browsers were becoming more important than the operating system. So in August 1995, when Microsoft launched Windows 95, they also included their own web browser called the Internet Explorer, and they made it the default browser for every PC sold. So when you start your computer, you could see the Internet Explorer right on your home screen. On top of that, Microsoft directly attacked the most important features of Netscape by launching something called ActiveX controls. And this update made it impossible to easily download files from the internet, especially the Microsoft Office files. And this was a direct attack on Netscape's prime features. And because 90% of the computers used MS Office, it became more and more difficult for them to use Netscape and other browsers. And then Microsoft also removed the Internet Explorer from the Add and Remove tab, because of which neither the consumers nor the manufacturers could delete the Internet Explorer from the computers. And cherry on the cake, they made it available for free of cost. So this is how they first embraced the concept of internet browsers. Then they extended their products with features that do not support the competing products. And lastly, Microsoft used their dominance over the platform to promote their own product over its competition, eventually to exterminate the need to use rival products. And not so surprisingly, this led to the downfall of Netscape Navigator, and by 2000, Internet Explorer had 95% market share, making it the most dominating web browser in the market. And this is how Microsoft established an industry standard, which meant that if you wanted to make a living from software development, you had to make sure that your product worked in Internet Explorer. But if Microsoft thinks you're making a lot of money, maybe the story could be over for you. Similarly, Microsoft's instant messaging platform MSN Messenger also tried to kill one of the most popular instant messaging platforms during that time, that was AIM, which was made by a company called America Online. And the way they did that was that they first embraced the concept of instant messaging by launching MSN Messenger. And this was obviously installed in your PC by default. And then they extended the standard with proprietary Microsoft add-ons, which added new features but broke the compatibility with AOL's software. And then they gained dominance by providing MSN Messenger for free. And now the same thing is happening with Zoom. And this is the reason why I asked you yesterday, how many of you installed Microsoft Teams deliberately? Or did it just get installed in your PC with the updates? And as usual, most of you said that it automatically got installed with the updates. And the rest of you either did not use Teams or you're using a Mac. Now here's the catch, guys. Microsoft Teams has seen an exponential growth since 2020 by 456%. And I couldn't find Zoom's monthly active users since the last April 2020. But when they release the numbers, you know exactly what to compare it to. On top of that, you might also see that Microsoft will build an insanely user-friendly file sharing system for Microsoft Office files in Microsoft Teams. And soon enough, you could also see some hurdles which might make Zoom difficult to work with. Now the point to be observed over here is that in April 2020, while Zoom had 300 million daily active users, 1 year later, Microsoft Teams already had 145 million active users. And these users obviously are the ones who could have used Zoom or have shifted from Zoom to Microsoft Teams. So effectively, Microsoft has already started eating into Zoom's customer base. This is how Microsoft kills its competition. And this is what brings me to the most important part of the episode, and that are the lessons of the case study and the study materials to help you dive deeper into these tech wars. Before we move on, let me introduce you to our partners for this episode, and that is Scalar. Now people, amidst all of this tech war that is happening between these companies, the one thing for sure is that this competition is going to create some extraordinary opportunities for highly skilled computer engineers. And that's where Scalar comes in. Scalar is a world-class tech upskilling platform, and their mission is to make you skilled enough to get jobs in some of the best companies in the world like Facebook, Amazon and Google. Scalar has a curriculum that is reverse engineered to not only get you a great job but also to help you excel at it. They cover data structures, algorithms, system design and a project, full stack or backend, along with advanced electives. Scalar has placed over 1,091 learners in 2020 alone, with junior developers making an average salary of 16 lakhs and senior developers making an average salary of 39 lakhs. The best part is that Scalar has been made by the techies and for the techies to go beyond the traditional education system in India. And the lectures that are conducted by them are conducted by engineers who come from top tech companies. Apart from that, you also get to be a part of an aspirational learner community, and you also get access to one-on-one mentorship from experienced folks from the industry. So if you're somebody who wants to become capable enough to get a job at a world-class product-based company, check them out from the link in the description. Moving on to the lessons on the case study, there are 3 very important lessons to learn from Microsoft's iconic case. The first thing I want you to do is take a step back and look at the story very, very carefully. Did you see that in spite of Microsoft sabotaging Netscape, Chrome was very easily able to beat the Internet Explorer to become the most used browser in the world? In spite of Microsoft killing AOL using the MSN Messenger, Facebook and WhatsApp have turned out to be the winner of the social media revolution. And it almost looks like Microsoft was so obsessed with killing its competition that it completely lost sight of the evolving trends in the internet services like search engine, social media and even mobile revolution. And this tells us 2 very, very important lessons: that while good companies focus on their competition, great companies focus on their customers and the needs of the market. Number 2, regardless of how powerful you are, if you don't build great products, the success you're going to achieve is always going to be short-lived. And lastly, while Microsoft always wanted to be the richest kid in the block and tried to keep all the wealth to itself, Apple and Google built a platform for developers to empower them and build wealth for a large number of people. And in this process, they ended up making more money than Microsoft. Hang on, but Google and Apple also got dragged to the court because they were also acting as a monopoly, right? Interesting. We'll talk about that in the upcoming episode. That's all from my side for today, guys. If you learned something valuable, please make sure to hit the like button in order to make YouTube Baba happy. And you'll also find the links to the study material in the description. I have barely covered 1% of the topic, so please have a look at those links because it will help you a lot in case if you're writing a research paper or you're just curious to learn about Microsoft's monopoly. And for more such insightful business and political case studies, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.